Hold that fucking pussy. Hold that fucking pussy. Let it go on the impact. Hold it. Let it go. Good fucking girl. Listen, you are now rocking with the Hotrod Show.
I appreciate
Official.
you, man. This episode of the Hotrod Show is sponsored by Hookah Up the brand. Very simple, very classy, very sexy. Bring the vibes anywhere you go, baby. Welcome to the Hotrod Show, a lunch break from the bullshit, though. I'm your host, Hotrod. Subscribe, only if you fly. Now, look, this is the Toxic Gang series, and today what we're going to talk about is BDSM. We got a special guest in the building today. 6'5", professional, sensual sadist, pleasure dominant Sir Leezus is in the building.
Yes,
How you
sir.
doing today, brother?
Sir.
Everything
I'm
good?
I'm good. I'm privileged.
Healthy?
I'm honored to be here. I'm healthy, living life, and it's definitely, my blessings have been coming, and I'm appreciative to all the blessings I've been getting. So yeah, everything is good.
That's what I'm
Everything
talking
is
about.
good.
That's what I'm talking about, man. And we got a lot to talk about today, man. Before we even dive into, the BDSM part, I want to talk about, because you are a swinger in the lifestyle, correct?
Yes. I've been in the swinger lifestyle 20 years. So yes, I started off as a swinger. So I'm a swinger amongst other things.
Okay. And how did we get in the lifestyle?
Okay, man, 20 years ago,
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend dating, and we used to, kinky, regular stuff, whatever. Having sex out in a park, having sex in a bathroom of a restaurant and stuff. And then she asked me would I be open to going to a party that highlights that type of stuff. So I'm like, okay, it sounds interesting. Let's go. I'm for it, open-minded. So she took me to a party. It was a club. She knew the owner because her girlfriend was dating the owner. The club shut down, and then all the fuckery started afterwards. So it was basically like put out all the regular, members that are there for the club, and then people started coming in at maybe 2:30, whatever. And it was just like one of those crazy, it was something out of a movie to where it was everything. Anything you could think of sexually that can happen was happening. And I'm sitting there like, all right, listen, I'm holding my girl by the arm. Like, listen, I'm gonna just stay right here. My comfortability level may not have been, where it should have been, but I'm like, I'm gonna just stay right here and just observe and, make do. But we started off as exhibitionists. So we would go to these type of events.
What's an exhibitionist?
So an exhibitionist is someone that likes to be seen.
Okay.
That likes to be watched, likes to be observed. Nudists, they're exhibitionists.
Gotcha.
Having sex in your car, that's a form of being an exhibitionist.
Damn, I'm an exhibitionist.
Having sex at a park. You got to think when you was younger and you couldn't just bring a girl back to your crib. You had to find places and all that.
Yeah.
And there's a chance you can get caught.
Oh, damn.
There's a small chance.
So the roof count.
Yeah, listen, so you take that small chance and you start pushing your limits and increasing the chance of being seen or being caught. You know what I mean? If you have ever done something at work, you're in the office, close the door. You got about 10 minutes before somebody comes back and you're like, okay, let's do it real quick. Or in the elevator, think about that. The time it takes to get to the 6th floor and you do something that fast. You see what I'm saying? That thrill of getting caught. So a lot of exhibitionists have that thrill of getting caught. So you go off of that and that motivates you to find different places and try to have sex there.
So I gotta ask now, this is because of what you just said. What are some of the places where you have been an exhibitionist?
The most notable?
Yeah, give us a few.
40-40.
The 40-40, yeah, okay, cool.
2 times in a 40-40 club.
Like in the bathroom or like?
In the VIP section, skirt on, she's riding me in the VIP section. And then in the bathroom, unisex bathroom. So, anybody can come in and out, whatever. And no, 3 times, because we did it in the bathroom one time, and then actually on the sink. Like, fuck it, somebody walk in, they walk in. So it was enough to where 2 girls walked in, and they were like, don't stop. But then we stopped, though. So it was kind of like the beginning stage of exploring like that. You don't want to get kicked out the club and everything.
Yeah.
You want to push it to a limit, but you don't want to put yourself in a compromising situation. So I would probably say the 40-40 club. I don't even know if that's still open.
I don't think it is, but don't quote me on that. But I don't think it is though.
Yeah, that's probably the most notable.
So you brought up your pretty much. I'm assuming. Well, yeah, it had to be your first experience at a swinger party, right? You're well experienced now, 20 years later.
Yeah.
What would you say was your favorite experience at a lifestyle party?
So my favorite experience was probably experiencing BDSM.
Mm-hmm.
So I came across BDSM going to parties and seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
So the visual of it drew me in. So seeing people engage in power exchange, I didn't know what it was back then. But just seeing a dominant person and a submissive person and seeing the interaction. I would see dominant males, submissive women. I would see dominant women, submissive men.
Femdoms,
and I would see, that's a
loose term.
Dames, yeah. Femdoms is more financial. Doms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
we'll get to that too. Yeah.
So, and it was just so many different sexes mixed in and so many different types of power exchange. And I'm looking at it like, it sparked the interest for me to go explore and educate myself.
Mm-hmm.
So that would probably be the best thing in the lifestyle that I came across, was just seeing it and then stopping and looking, and then to the point to where I want to go educate myself.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So if you see something that you like that much, that you go research it and go follow up on it and go find more, and then you want to seek that, it's something that drew you in.
That drew you in.
Yeah.
Okay. So as far as BDSM, right? So correct me if I'm wrong. BDSM is bondage, discipline, domination, sadism, and masochism.
Okay.
Right?
Cool.
That's
a whole, yeah.
All right, cool. I practiced it because I was messing up the words.
You do have master slave in there.
Mm-hmm.
Dominant, submissive, master slave. Sadomasochism, that's a major part of BDSM.
Masochism. I've been messing it up since last
Sadomasochism. Yes.
Sadomasochism.
Sadomasochism.
Masochism. Got it.
Sadomasochism.
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 Masochism.
So you have a sadist.
Masochism.
You have a sadist,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a masochist.
Okay.
Okay.
What's a masochist?
So a masochist is someone that gets pleasure from receiving pain.
A sadist. You're a sadist. That's a person that, I looked this up. It says it derives pleasure and sexual gratification from inflicting pain. It says humiliation, but something like that.
Because humiliation could be painful. It's a form of mental pain. So just like you see, just like a femdom, a pay pig, right?
A pay pig.
A pay pig. They deal with femdoms.
What's a pay pig?
So a pay pig is someone that wants like a wallet drain, and they want someone to take advantage of their money. So we all know what happens when you lose money. So if I lose $100, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
I'm not at the bracket to where I could lose $100 and just be like, oh, it's only $100.
Mm-hmm.
You lose $1, you're like, oh, it's only $1.
Yep.
Maybe $5. That's $5. You lose $100, you looking around for like where that $100 bill at?
Yeah.
Right. So and it don't feel good to lose money at all. It don't feel good to lose money. But that feeling of losing money is it caters to someone that is a masochist, because they get pleasure from pain, right? So it's painful to lose money. You take a loss somewhere, you feeling that shit like, yo, I done lost. You bet $300 on a game, they lose, you mad as shit. You cussing out the TV, whatever. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people search for that, and it becomes a kink to them. You see what I'm saying? So a girl might, and I don't want to speak too much on it because, like, that I'm not a femdom, but the concept of it and just me being educated and knowing. So they set themselves up to lose their money and have that feeling of being taken advantage of, that feeling of someone controlling their money, that feeling of you have to pay me $700 just to talk to me. I'm going to drain your wallet. Every time somebody likes my picture, I'm going to take $100 from you. And then they're looking at their bank account, ding, 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 ding. And every time they hit that ding with a withdrawal, they're cringing. It's fucking them up mentally. So that's feeding their masochistic needs. That makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's different.
I mean, it is. There's so many forms of sadomasochism, and it doesn't have to be physical, because you think pain is always physical to somebody, but there's humiliation, mental, emotional. So it's different ways. You know what I mean?
Okay. So we talked about, you being in a lifestyle, then BDSM. We also got to talk about you being a professional because you're also on tour. I was looking for the name of the tour, and I'm gonna put up the dates and stuff like that.
Okay.
So give us a synopsis of the tour. Would it be something similar to the demonstration we had earlier?
So the Leezus Experience.
Leezus
The Leezus Experience. That's what it's
Got you.
called. So I just want to present what I do, present my journey, my BDSM journey to the masses.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of people that do what I do. A lot of notable people, a lot of people that I've learned from, a lot of people that I will learn from in the future. We all have our own niche. We all have a vision to how, we have a vision as a whole to what it looks like when it comes to consent and safety and everything and the standards of the community. But everybody has their own personal twist and their own personal feel. I just want to present the Leezus Experience to people around the world because I'm leaving the country with it now. So yeah, so I want to present that to everybody. So when I do a booking, I add them to the show and I promote it like as part of, my actual tour. So anybody that books me, they become part of the Leezus Experience. So it's a joint effort. If you book me up in New York, now you're part of the Leezus Experience. So I'm gonna push that out and I'm gonna give you the same type of energy that I would do if I was hosting something myself. So everybody that adds me to their situation, they become part of my situation. So that's how the Leezus Experience started. And I'm on like a 12 city tour.
Yeah. I was gonna ask
yeah.
you what because you was just in what you said Rutherford and just Jersey.
Yeah, I just did Jersey,
Okay.
East Rutherford, New Jersey. Before that, I was in Connecticut.
Mhm.
I have next week. I have Detroit.
Mhm.
I have Houston. Then I'm back in Philly.
They gonna love you in Houston.
Yes, and this will be my first time in Houston. I've never been to
They
Houston.
gonna love you. Everything you
Yeah.
think out there. Shout
I
out
never,
to Houston.
I never been to Houston.
What's your favorite place so far?
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Okay, that makes
Atlanta.
sense. Yeah.
Atlanta, then Jamaica.
Jamaica, like
Jamaica. So
you did actually I think I might have saw that. That was something along the lines of hedonism, something like that. That's what
hedonism. Yes.
okay.
Yes.
What is that? Cause I saw that and I was like, I looked it up. I didn't really get it.
So hedonism is it's more of a nudist resort, but then they do have a swinger aspect to it. So I don't know if they actually identify as a swingers resort because sometimes with the wordplay and the language gets a little tricky.
Semantics.
Yeah. So they have a nude side, they have a prude side, but I'm set up through a group Cherry Shake. And I'm locked in with them as a kink educator and a kink performer they do kink weeks.
Mhm.
So every time kink weeks, every time they do a trip, they add a kink aspect to it. And then I facilitate BDSM. So I've been working with them for the past year. So I have 3 trips with them to Jamaica. I have one that I did already, and I have one in June and one in July. So I'll do a live demonstration. I'll do private sessions. I'll do some kink education, some classes.
Mhm.
I'll do some spanking on the beach. I'll do some spanking on the boat. I'll do some spanking eating plantains while a dude over there fishing for crabs, with one of them Jamaican Rasta hats. So listen, I'm gonna go in. I just want to be part of that. So yeah, but I love this. So they have size. So it's set up to where there's a portion of it to where you can't cross over a certain area unless you're completely nude. Like hands down, there's no exception. They have security there
to make sure
security there. And the most interesting thing to me was they can't control the beach. So you have a lot of vendors, a lot of people that are from Jamaica. They can come to a certain point on the beach. They can sell. They're selling lobsters, crabs, hats, green, everything. But they can't come past a certain point. So they'll come up on a boat to the beach, and it's crazy. So it was an experience for me because that was my first time leaving the country. So the first time I left the country happened to be me getting booked for a kink event. So I got a drink to that.
Yeah, definitely shouts out to Jamaica for that. This is a beautiful place. So spanking, obviously that's a big thing. So is flogging. All of that is considered impact play, right? Because I see that a lot at your shows, right?
Mhm.
And you mentioned the private sessions. I saw it on your page. You have like the private spanking sessions, right? Couple of questions, because spanking is very common in the bedroom for people, right?
Yeah.
The different types for the viewers at home, the different types. Can you explain the different types of spankings?
Okay, yeah.
And how does that work?
So I'm gonna make sure I hit them all because I put a lot of them out there. So
Yeah, I could, I could look it up on the phone real quick, because
so you have okay. So let me see. Punishment spanking. That's
yes.
that's one of the most known spankings. Punishment spanking. So a lot of times people role play. They have fantasies. Um, so you want to incorporate that because a lot of BDSM is role play. You know, people want to step out of the regular life and they want to experience something that they can't do on the norm, on a regular, right? So punishment. I have people that come to me and say, "Hey, I spent too much money. I need to be punished."
What?
That's your motivation. I spent too much money. Hey, I didn't clean up my house enough this week. I didn't do A, B, and C. Okay, so that's the motivation for me. So if I'm booking a private session, now this is me getting deep into private sessions. So somebody hit me up, they say, I want a punishment spanking. I say, okay, what are you getting punished for? Okay, they might say, well, I had a budget of, $200 for the month and I spent $3,000 and I brought a Birkin bag purse or something like that, or, whatever. So I went over my budget. I need to be punished. I'll take that and then I'll incorporate that into the session.
Very customized.
So I say, oh, you want to go over your budget? Bend that pretty ass over. Tell me why you're about to get punished. Tell me why you're about to get punished. So she'll say, oh, I spent too much money. And I'll use that as motivation through the spanking. So I'll talk to her the whole time. Tell me you're gonna be frugal with your money. Tell me you're not gonna spend. And as I'm spanking her and I'm going through the motions, I'm making her promise to me that she won't overspend anymore. And then I'll tell her every time that she spends over a certain amount, she's gonna get punished for that. So I'll take that and I'll incorporate a whole fantasy and a whole scene catered to that specific person. So
So I'm pretty sure a lot of women do that on purpose, just to get the reoccurring spankings.
but you gotta think that a lot of like when it comes to the mental aspect of it, certain things turn you on.
Mhm.
Certain things that you can't that might come from your childhood, might come from a situation to where it may have been negative to you and you want to take control of it and be able to orchestrate and control the actual spanking, you know what I mean? So then you set it up to control it yourself and that empowers you for that situation. So everybody is different, you know what I mean? So you never know why somebody needs something. Somebody might need punishment spankings because they got punished for no reason and they want to be able to control it and say, hey, I want to get punished for something that I can say I deserve to get that. You have people that want therapeutic spanking.
Yeah.
Therapeutic. So you got to think when you if you I don't know if you have any kids, but if you have a child and the child's crying, you pat them on their back, you pat them on their butt. It's like it's rhythmatic. It's soothing. So a lot of times people do therapeutic spankings because it's soothing to them. So I'm not doing it to inflict pain. I'm doing it to soothe them. So it's a rhythmatic, it's consistent. I might talk to them, tell them pretty things in their ear. Um, I might have them tell me and encourage them to tell me how pretty they are, tell me how sexy they are, tell
Building
me
confidence.
build their confidence. So where's the affirmation?
Okay, one that I'm very curious about, right? Because there's a couple on it, but I don't want to spend too much time on it.
Pick a random one then. We talk about it.
Maintenance spankings. What the fuck is that?
So maintenance spanking okay, so there's a couple of reasons for maintenance spanking. It might be to keep somebody in line. It might be because um they're in a sadomasochism and they need that because that's their connection and they need it on the regular. You see what I'm saying? So it's a maintenance spanking. Because if you get pleasure from pain, I might want to do that on the regular. You might need that once a day because that's your fix. You see what I'm saying? That's something that turns you on, that gets you going. So that's maintenance for you. Or it might be to remind you that, hey, this can happen anytime. So there's a bunch of different reasons to have a maintenance spanking. It's a reminder. You know what I mean?
Now, which one do you get booked for the most? Like, if you want me to read them out, I'll read them out, or if you
Erotic spanking.
okay, yeah, I guess that makes
Erotic spanking is the
alright,
most.
that makes
Because I add a bunch of what is it? Edge play. I add,
edge play. What's edge play?
So getting you to the point to where you're about to orgasm and I take it away. So I'm good at doing that and doing spanking at the same time. So I might have a wand on the clitoris and I'm spanking and I say, tell me when you're about to come. You need to ask me permission to come. Sir, may I come? And I pull it away. Nope. So then I'm edging them.
They go crazy.
And then I go back to spanking, continue with it. And then it's just a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Give a sensory overload. So the erotic spanking is probably the most I get booked for.
Now, with the spankings, you use like the wood paddles, the leather paddles, I'm assuming.
My personal preference is my hand always. That's my personal preference. But I'm always go off of what the person wants. Yeah, so they might say, I want wood, I want metal, I want leather. They might say, I want the crocodile paddle. They might say, I want the bicycle paddle. I might, it depends on, once they go through it and they feel certain types of impact, they know what they want. Some people like sting, some people like thud.
Wait, say that again?
Sting. So remember back in the day, we used to take the towel, pop somebody with a towel.
Yeah.
So
that's a sting feeling, yeah.
So thud is more like somebody punching you in your leg or something, punching your arm.
A thud.
So that's more thud, yeah.
Got you.
So depending on how you are personally, you like different type of impact. Some people like a combination of both. Thud is more deeper. Bruises more. You know what I mean? Sting is stingy. It's self-explanatory. It might break skin or something like that. Yeah. So it gives you that sting. But just depending on what you like, that's what you ask for. So what I do, so me being a pleasure dom, I cater to the particular person that I'm interacting with. So if they want sting, I'm gonna give them sting. They want thud, I'm gonna give them thud. They want sensory play, I'm gonna give them sensory play. So I'm more about pleasing the submissive or the bottom that I'm dealing with, as opposed to this is what I like, this is what I'm gonna do.
Now you said submissive and you said bottom, right? We know for the most part people know what a submissive is. Yeah. What is a bottom though?
So a bottom is someone that likes the power exchange. They like the interaction, they like the play, but they may not be a submissive. They may not want to submit to someone. They may not want to give total control to someone, but they want the interaction. They want to have that moment. They might want to just role play. I want you to spank me. I want you to spank me in a dominant way. So they might bottom for me. So when you see me doing any shows professionally, they're my bottoms, right? So they're not submissive to me. They're just submissive for that moment during the show.
Acting, role playing.
Yeah, role playing. So I do have a submissive, an actual submissive. So it's a little different. See, my journey when it comes to BDSM and power exchange, my journey is mental and emotional. You see what I'm saying? So it's a little different for me because I don't focus on the physical aspect of it. A bottom is more about the physical aspect because they want to actually be engaged with the scene. But you can be engaged with the scene and not be a submissive. Just like you can do all this and not be a dominant. You could just be a top. You just like to do the play. It's not limited to doms and subs, masters, slaves. It's anybody that wants to enjoy this in the bedroom, whatever. If you don't identify as a dominant, but you know how to wield a flogger, knock yourself out.
And the flogger is this one right here.
Yeah. So I have a bunch of different floggers.
Cool. Yeah, I see that. You like the flogger stuff.
Because impact play is my thing. So, it's different ways to use floggers. And I like to get floggers made specifically to how I want to use them. So I got some I use 2 hands. Some I use 1 over the shoulder. Some I use from the side. Some I swing like a baseball bat. It just depends. So everyone gets a different type of sensation, different type of feel, different type of impact.
That's why you have so many styles and options. That makes sense.
Yeah. That's one of the things that makes me unique from, because traditional, you have the regular flogger, you do the Florentine, which is, it's a way to rhythmatically, swing the floggers. But I have stuff that I added my own personal twist to it. And, sometimes you want to be unique. Sometimes you want to set yourself aside. As long as you're doing it safe, you don't always have to follow the trend. You know what I mean? That's like back in the day, we pull the pant leg up. You know what I mean?
Shout out
Instead of wearing your hat to the front, you put it to the back. You know what I mean? You start doing different things because you want to add your own little twist. You want to start separating yourself. You know what I mean? But as long as you're doing it, as long as you look good doing it, you're doing it safely. You know what I mean? And you're staying within the parameters of what the community has put together as a whole, as you know, what is acceptable. You're good.
Now we spoke about something called breath play, right? What's the difference between breath play and choking, or is that the same thing?
So it's part of it. It's all under the same umbrella. So I do erotic asphyxiation. So I mean, it sounds a little sexier than just choking. So it's basically breath play. But you can do that in different forms. It might be choking. It might be smothering somebody's face. Somebody might do waterboarding, which is part of that.
Water what?
Yeah, we got that's a deep conversation. Like you ever see one of them CIA movies?
Oh yeah, when you about to like they put the towel.
But what you're doing, you're taking away.
It's the drowning effect. It's like you about to drown.
And what do you do when you drown?
Like you
can't breathe underwater.
Can't breathe.
Yeah, so that's
that's different.
There's people that are into that. You see what I'm saying? And they make it a form of play, and they're turned on by that. That's that sadomasochism coming in.
So you mentioned the submissives, right? So you're in a relationship with some submissives, or what's the proper terminology?
So relationship. So I'm polyamorous.
Okay, cool. Okay.
So I have submissives that are also partners. So I can be in a relationship with my submissive. Okay. So it just depends on the situation, how we're vibing, how we're connecting, what they're looking for, what I'm looking for. It's just like regular dating. So right now I have a submissive that personally, I plan on them being my partner. And that's, but I have a process. I have an interview process.
You have an interview process?
Yeah, I got an interview. So you got to think, right? I do a lot of shows that have a lot of vanilla people. A vanilla person is someone that's
me.
Yeah, so you're vanilla. You're not in the lifestyle. So we consider you vanilla.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of people that have seen the 50 Shades of Grey movie and they're interested. Now, when they see a black man doing it and in person and they have access to go see this, now it intrigues somebody. So I do stuff at dungeons, which is the BDSM community. I do stuff at swinger parties, which is a combination of, swingers, BDSM, people in a lifestyle. But then I do events to where it might be all vanilla people and they just have an interest in it. So if I'm doing a live demonstration and I have a whole bunch of people that their first time seeing it, you know what I mean? So I get a lot of those situations with that, with the vanilla people coming to the events. You know what I mean? So
I'm happy you brought up 50 Shades of Grey though, because I got a question that is coming up about that soon. So in those situations with the subs, you guys teach each other how to serve each other, or you teach them how to serve you to perfection? Like, how do you guys teach each other how to love each other?
So the first thing is when you're thinking about bringing somebody on as a submissive, or you're thinking about serving a dominant, I tell people to get to know that person as a human. That's the first thing, because you got to know that if their priorities, their principles as a person, forget anything in the BDSM community, them as a human, how do they align with your journey? Do you agree with their morals? Do you agree with how they live life and all that, whatever? Get that out the way first. Figure out all that, get that out the way. Figure everything like that out, and then continue on. Because a lot of people think, oh, this Dom right here, he's popular, or I like what he does. You just jump into it. That's just like meeting somebody on Swipe Right on Tinder. You go on a date and y'all in a relationship before y'all get your food come to the table type situation. You know what I mean? So you got to take the time, get to know somebody and all that, and then move from there. So I always encourage my submissives not my submissives, somebody that I'm interviewing, get to know me. Because I might not be for you. Forget me being a dom. I might not be for you as a person.
That comes first.
Yeah, I might not be for you as a person. Yeah, so there's so many things that can deter that. That from dating in general. You know what I mean? So I might want kids. You might not want kids. It ain't gonna work.
Yeah, that's a big
Forget
thing.
me being a dom, whatever. So if we plan on being there for the long haul, you got to think about stuff like that. So get to know that person as a human. That's my interview process. And then I get a lot of people that are not really interested in it. They just want to get spanked and fucked. I mean, I'm gonna keep it a bean. I'm gonna keep it 100. They want to get spanked and fucked because they see it and they see what I project online. They see what I put out there to the universe. But they don't know what I want personally. If you ask any submissive that has interviewed with me and has been around me, I'm not trying to push them into doing those scenes. I'm letting them get to know me. I'm teaching them how to, from the baseline, let go of everything and then submit. Because I want you to let go of everything. I want to break you down. I want to build you up. And I'm going to teach you how to serve me to perfection. But I'm going to tell you all of this first before I do it. So you can make a conscious decision and say, you know what? I agree with all this. I want to move forward. Because it sucks to fall for somebody and then all of a sudden he's like, you got to ask me this. You got to do this. You're not allowed to talk to your friends. You can't do this. You got to wear all black. You got to put a mask on. You're like, damn, like shit. Like, and now you done fell for somebody and he's hitting you with all this stuff that you ain't cool with. So I always project. I always say hypothetically, or I'll talk about the future, and I say, hey, moving forward, this might happen. Make sure you're cool with this. Make sure you're cool cutting off all intimate situations. Make sure you're cool with checking in 6 times a day. Make sure you're cool with asking permission to masturbate. You know, there's stuff like that because you lose privileges and all that because you're giving control to somebody.
Mm-hmm. The power exchange you talked about
earlier. The power exchange. You got to make sure that this person that you're giving full control to, you trust with your life. You see what I'm saying? And you have to have that process and give somebody time to get to know you so they can make that decision. Because you can't come right into being a submissive and then really get to know somebody because now you're following guidelines. You got protocols and all that, whatever. So you got to have a process of just getting to know somebody. So I take pride in that and just having these steps and everything.
So for a woman who would want to be your sub, right? What are the benefits outside of sexual?
So my first thing I would say to that woman is what do you benefit from being of service to somebody? Because I can't tell somebody their benefits. You know, they need to come to the table with that. So if there's someone so let me say structure. A lot of people that are submissive, they want to have structure. They want to be in a situation to where they're set up to succeed. Okay? So dom sub dynamic is put on paper. You can see what it looks like. If you're dating regular, sometimes you don't know. You don't know if you're pleasing your partner. You don't know what they want. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, like you see when people argue, like, I don't get you. I don't, you don't open up. It's kind of different from me. Everything's on the table. You see everything. This is what it's going to look like. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. These are my expectations. Now tell me yours. Let's negotiate it. Because you can negotiate as a dominant and as a submissive, you can negotiate what it looks like. I'm going to give you everything that I have accumulated mentally, emotionally, physically over the years of being in the community. This is what my journey looks like. Here it goes. You can read it out. We can talk about it. I'm going to give you everything. Now, you need to make a conscious decision if you want to continue down this line with this journey. You see what I'm saying? If there's something that you don't like, whatever, let's talk about it. I got a lot of stuff that's non-negotiable. And I say, hey, this is how it looks like for me. If you can't align with any of this, we'll be friends. But that right there, to me, is the respectful thing to do because a lot of people see a woman, she might be beautiful, she might be a great submissive, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to just try to make it work. I put it out there.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Bad work.
But us as men, we don't, we meet a girl that's bad as fuck and we want to continue. We do it. Yeah, I've done it before. I'm like, she like, I want kids. I'm like, I ain't having no more kids. But I'm like, you know what? Her ass is crazy. I'm gonna just take her on this next date. But shit like that happen, right? Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. We'll chalk it up and like, we'll get there when we get there. You know what I mean? She be like, I want you to have a credit score of this. I'm like, my credit score like 200. Fuck it. I'm gonna just tell her like, we ain't rock with it. But shit like that happen though. But you gotta be honest. A lot of people ain't honest. A lot of people are not honest because they're scared to fail at whatever's happening there. They're scared to lose somebody. When it comes to dating, we I don't want to say lie, but we don't tell everything because you don't want to put certain things. Just like the conversation they say, if you just want fuck, tell me you just want fuck. Nah, because we think it's gonna fuck up. We don't want to say that because And it don't really happen like that. So we'll tell you, oh, I'm in a
All the
relationship.
time.
Well, let's go out on a date, so. I might really just be trying to fuck. But a lot of people don't have the courage to do that because they don't want to lose a situation. You know what I mean? I might say, listen, love, like I'm not trying to date, whatever. We can hang out, whatever. But I'm really looking for, people to be intimate with. If you cool with that, we can go hang out. She might be like, how you gonna come at me like that, so and so? But I'm trying to be honest. I don't want a relationship. If you cool with going to grab a bite to eat and having a drink here and there, and then we fucking, we can talk. If you want a relationship, that's not the situation over here. You know what I mean? So you got to put your stuff out there. You got to put it out there with confidence. Put it out there with what you want, and not be scared of the rejection or a situation failing. But a lot of people don't have that in them.
Yeah,
when it comes to me as a dom, I say these are my non-negotiables. I give all of that.
I think everybody should have that. I think that's a great idea.
I promise you, like any submissive that I've dealt with, everything that I present, I'm not changing any of this. And I put it on paper. If you see something here that you don't like, it's not gonna work. I just had a situation like that.
Tell us about that.
Oh man.
I'm
gonna throw somebody under the bus.
If you can, it's up to you.
No, I can say anything. So what I do is, I'm poly, right? I have a partner that is not my submissive, but she's submissive to me.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple submissive interviewing that I will move to the next level that I plan on them being partners. Now, I've been a swinger for years and all that stuff, whatever. Now, if you're not in a certain situations, I could see a red flag coming up, right? And if I keep telling you, if I say, listen, this might be a fork in the road for you, what's going to happen is, and this is what I tell anybody, you're going to catch feelings, and then there's going to be a non-negotiable that I told you that you're kind of like, well, let me see what happens when I get there. And when you get there, it's going to smack you in the fucking face, elbow you in the fucking head, and now you're sitting here looking stupid. But I've been telling you the same thing. You know what I mean? But you have to be 100% okay with that. Don't compromise for me. You know, if we both agree on something, it's not a compromise. Like a compromise is, I really don't like this, but I want to
do it for you.
I want to do it for you. Yeah. If we're doing business, right? I want 60-40, okay? So you say, nah, I originally wanted 60-40. If we split it, if we move that number, I'm compromised. It's not what I really wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
100%.
So if I say, hey, I don't want kids, you like, well, we can adopt. No, I don't want kids. Now you're breaking a compromise. You see what I'm saying?
Same thing.
Yeah.
It might sound a little fucked up, but it's the same thing.
It's the same thing. But so I'm like, I can be at a situation at a certain age that I don't need the compromise. And I'll tell a woman, you don't need the compromise. You can go find somebody else. And it's cool. We can be friends. It's okay to not work with somebody.
I might make them want you more because that's not your everyday situation. A lot of men don't.
But see, a lot of people don't know it's okay to not work with somebody and just be cool. It's okay to see somebody like, it's not gonna work for us. We can be friends. And a lot of people don't see that. You know what I mean? Because the physical aspect of it overtakes, your logical thinking sometimes, especially as us as men.
Yeah.
It does happen with women sometimes.
Yeah.
But us as men, we lead what we lead with sometimes. Not saying everybody does, but we do it a lot. Yeah. Like to keep it a minute, we do it a lot.
Yeah,
we make a lot of decisions like, she crazy, but she bad as fuck. How many girls have you? That's keep it a thing, bro.
I definitely
How many girls have you been like, she crazy? I really don't need to go see her. I know this gonna open up this can of worm. But she posts that picture, and you like, damn, she really had to wear that dress. And then you make that move on that. You know what I mean? We've done that. Yeah. Like I know I shouldn't open up that fucking can.
I knew I shouldn't have called her. Why the hell I opened up that message?
But even with the BDSM community, they come in there like with me interviewing a submissive, I'll see stuff, and I'm like, hey, listen. This is what it looks like. You have to be 100% cool with that. So I got an interview process. I got a vetting process to where once I get past the interview and you show me that you're actually you're actually with me, you're present. You know what I mean? Then we go to the vetting process. I give you my protocol. Now you see what it looks like on paper. We're not there yet. I show you what it looks like. Now you can read it. We'll talk about that. These are all my non-negotiable. My protocol is a non-negotiable. Everything on there. I'm sticking by it. If you see one thing you don't like, we're not working. Simple as that. And it's okay.
Yeah.
I might be hurt. I'm not going to show it. You're going to be like, that motherfucker cold as shit. He ain't got no feeling. I might be hurt like them. I thought she was going to work. But I got to a point to where I'm able to put all my non-negotiables on paper, right? because I know this is what I want my journey to look like. And if our journey's on the line, we can't continue. We could be friends. We might be able to still fuck, hang out, whatever, but we can't continue in my lifelong journey because I want a life partner. I want a submissive to be alive. Now, I can have a submissive that's really not a life partner, but you know, the demographics is a little different.
The main,
yeah,
basically,
So
to speak.
So when it don't align, it don't align. So once it does align and we continue,
forward.
then we move forward. But then what I do is I got my consideration process. Now, so the language is the same, but it's different depending on the person. You know what I mean? So there's dimes or dames that might have a different consideration and might have a different vet and whatever. Me personally, this is how I set it up. So once I get to my consideration process, I put someone in actual protocol, but they're not my submissive. So I give them time to see what it physically feels like, what it mentally feels like, what it emotionally feels like being in the actual protocol. So if you have to check in, one of my things, I'm gonna put something out there that's not too. So one of my things is you have to check in. You got to check in. Let me see, 5 times a day. Okay,
5 or 6? You said 6.
5.
Okay, 5. At least 5.
It's 5.
Okay.
So it's 5. You wake up. First thing you do when you wake up, you contact me. You start with a video. Good morning. Okay. 3 times throughout the day. Now that depends on the person when you work and all that, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You got to check in with your mood, right? What you're doing and why you're thankful for being in service to me. Now, there's a reason for that. Now, 3 times a day. I'm going to tell you a couple different reasons. Your mood, because I want to see where you mentally are. If I need to call you, talk to you, see what's going on. If you're having a bad day, I want to know that. If you're having a good day, that's cool. Stressed, now I get to talk to you. You see what I'm saying? So you tell me like, oh, I'm stressed out because of this. Then I'm going to call you right away. Hey, what's going on? In case I need to talk you through a mentor, you do something. Or just be there for you, to speak with me. So you're doing that 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're doing when you go to bed. When you go to bed, when you say goodnight to me, you're done. Everything is done. No social media, no anything, whatever. You're done for the night. But then I also do that because I'm busy. I got a lot going on. So I want to make sure that we're conversing throughout the day, we're talking, and that we have that connection. But that we can talk a couple of times throughout the day outside of that, but that's guaranteeing me that. So I do that, just thinking, premeditating that I might get caught up. I might not pick up my phone. But I know that you message me. And if I see something that is going on wrong, like, okay, I'm having a bad day, I jump on that and call. So that's stuff that somebody got to stick to. Somebody be like, well, I got to call this many times a day. I'm not doing all that. It's too much. That's cool. We don't got to continue. But shit like that happens. People cannot align with, what you put in front of them, and that's 100% okay. You get what I'm saying? So
I wanna go left a little bit though. I found this interesting. What do you say to older women that feel that doms or dominant men prey on younger women, and they say that couldn't be me?
If I'm gonna be honest,
yeah,
it's a lot easier to mold, manipulate, and I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna put it out there. It is. It's a lot easier to mold or manipulate or influence a younger woman. And then, you don't know, you have women that are younger that have a older mentality. They've been through a lot. They might have better support systems than other people, been influenced by, women that, have taught them how to maneuver in the world. But then you got some that are not. So there's a lot of people that prey on that. There's a lot of predators out here. Everybody in the BDSM community is not an upstanding citizen or upstanding person in the community. It's just not like that. You got people in the church that are not, So every community has predators. You know that. So me, where I'm at now, and
that's an interesting take.
Every community has some type of predator. But so me, where I'm at now, I meet a lot of women that I could easily take advantage of. And I say that to that person. I'm like, yo, you got the wrong person. He would have took advantage of this situation. Because I see women that say, they'll see my videos and say, I'll do whatever you want me to do. What does it take to serve you? You didn't even see what I'm about as a human. You're ready to give it all. You think about that shit. I'll do whatever it takes to serve you. And we haven't even had a conversation yet.
Yeah, that's that.
You see what I'm saying? Somebody is going to take that shit, put it in they're going to ball it up, put it in a bag, throw it over their shoulder, and you're going to be done. They're going to take that shit and run with it. You see what I'm saying? So it happens. Like I get older women that approach me. I get younger women that approach me. My thing is, where's your education in the community? Have you actually been engaged, and do you actually know what you're getting yourself into? Because 90% of the people that hit me up, they only want bedroom BDSM. They want to get spanked, choked, and fucked. That's it. They're not ready to submit emotionally or mentally. And my journey is emotional and mental. The physical shit, I'm great at that shit. You see that shit online. But my journey is not physical. My journey is mental and emotional. And any submissive that has stayed around and interviewed for a couple of months, they'll tell you it doesn't lead with that. It's all about he's going to let you get to know him. You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to spank you. I'm not trying to choke you. I'm not trying to go through all that stuff, whatever. We don't even talk about that. I want you to get here mentally. I want you to trust me. I want you to open up. So that's what I focus on. So and I can say this just being honest, if I'm being real. You meet a younger woman, it's like taking candy from a baby, to be honest with it. Because you got people that are intrigued by it and they're so vulnerable because they put themselves out there and there's somebody just waiting, licking his chops, waiting for that situation. I'm going to get her. And then that can determine what her journey looks like. Because she might, I'm never doing any BDSM. Yeah, and that happens all the time. That happens all the time. People get deterred from the community because they meet the wrong person. And I see it. I'll see somebody that'll be like, yeah, if you met the wrong person, it's over for you. And I turn a lot of them people down, though. Maybe like, I get about 10 people a week that hit me up about service. About 10 people a week.
How many do you turn down in a week?
Maybe 8.
Jeez.
And I don't turn them down because they fizz out on their own. Because my first thing I say, be present. Be present. Because I have 4 other women that have been around for 6, 7 months that are trying to get into a situation. So I'm not going to be every day with you. I'm not going to be nonstop hitting you up. I don't chase. I'm not a hunter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm coming to you.
Yes, show me that you want this. Be present. And most people can't. So, and that's understandable because in nature, we go after a woman, or it's 50-50. They're not used to presenting themselves. They're not used to chasing a guy. So if a girl messages you 2 times, you don't respond back, she's like, I'm not chasing no nigga, right?
Yeah.
First thing she said. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? That happens. And that's what we do naturally. That's what people do naturally. But I tell people it's not your natural situation.
I will say this, man. We gotta get you back. We gotta get you back on here, man. Do a part 2 or something like that because we are definitely past the time.
You ready to take all this punishment? Are you ready to take all this punishment? Yes, Daddy. Hold that pussy. Squeeze that pretty pussy. Hold it. Hold it. Tighter. Tighter. Let it go. Good fucking girl. Hold that fucking pussy. Hold it. Tighter. 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 Hold it. Let it go. Hold that fucking pussy. Hold it. Hold it. Squeeze that motherfucker. Hold it. Hold it. Let it go. Hold that fucking pussy. Hold it. Tighter. 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 Let it go. Hold that fucking pussy. Hold that shit. Hold it. Tighter. Hold it. Hold it. Tighter. Hold it. Hold it. Let it go. Hold that pussy. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Let it go. Hold that pussy. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Let it go. Hold it. Hold it. Let it go.